Yo, I am multitasking tonight, guys, and girls, whoever is out there watching. Um, I'm watching Sunfish King. I try not to step on other people's toes. Sunfish King's live right now. If anybody wants to go over and check him out, I am. I might be getting some prizes there. Kevin and I are participating in his winter league, and just found out an hour ago that I'm in first place and Kevin is in second place. So we're competing against each other, but we're both doing really good. We're competing in the multi. Can you guys hear me all right? I've been playing around on my computer. I didn't get set up as I usually do. We're competing in like the multi-species angle of it, and that we're in first and second. And then awesome, thanks, Rick. We're also competing in like the overall length, and for the overall length, we're in fourth and fifth place. I'm in fourth, Kevin's in fifth, so we're doing pretty good there. Just trying to keep it fun. Rick, thanks for coming. Curbside. I don't know why you disappeared off the chat. I don't know if I clicked something wrong. Oh, there you are. Okay, cool. It's mid. I know it's late there, man. I appreciate you coming in. I just scheduled a premiere for Friday, and I do it like while I'm at work because I know I got some UK fans who I appreciate. I love watching the UK channels too because I can watch them like in the early afternoon, and it makes me feel like I'm done work a little early because I see you guys out there carrying on, and it's still like lunchtime here. So I like watching the UK fishing shows and the UK channels. Dwight's here, Curly Express. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, I'm gonna start slow each week to let people pour in. So I usually do all the boring stuff up front, but some people do watch this on the replay. So for that, as a reminder, Tuesday tips. We're gonna hold this conversation 7 o'clock every Tuesday, and the purpose is really to let anyone, especially new anglers, come and ask questions, and us and the community that may be more experienced in fishing also welcome part of the conversation, and they can come out, hang out, chit chat, and hopefully answer some questions and make the newer anglers more at home in the sport. We don't all have families that do fishing and outdoors. Some of these guys are just getting into it, and they don't have anyone to ask these questions to. And you know how social media is; it's not always the best place to ask questions. Not all fishermen want to give up their secrets. If you see me staring out this way, it's because I've got Sunfish King on the other screen because I'm trying to see if I won any awards. He's showing off some stuff. So if anyone's watching, you see me win an award over there, let me know. I'm going to go over and get it. Housekeeping. I got my New Year resolution for the channel. I'm keeping it in front of me, and I'm going to go over it every Tuesday night to kind of keep me and Kevin honest. So number one on our list for the year was we wanted to expand the life list. Life list is a Freckled and Frugal. Thanks for coming. Let me make you a moderator so you can share your channel. She's got a great channel. Everyone in here's got that I can see that's commenting have really good channels. So feel free to share links and check each other out. It's one of the reasons I hold this. So life list for the year. Life list, for anyone who doesn't know, that is like a list of fish species that you've caught in your lifetime. We're trying to expand that. So we just started this from like last year. I didn't go too far back, but we started, I think, in like November. So we're all the way up to 55 species. So we added one this week to that list of new species, and that was a mosquito fish. We caught it over at, I think that was Hopewell Lake. Yeah, we caught that one in Hopewell Lake over at French Creek. Little tiny thing, but big enough to take the hook. Second goal of the year was the Sunfish King competition. It's 10 weeks, so first week is no big deal. I knew I wanted to hit it hard, and we're in first and second place, so I'm glad about that. But it's only the first week, so that's going to change. Stock Explorer, thanks for coming. Nora's got a great channel. My guppies are doing good. Musk turtle didn't eat any of the guppies yet, so that's all good. Nora, feel free to share your channel. Nora's like a huge supporter out there. She's one of those folks that just, and she actually knows, like the Stock Explorer, she actually knows what she's doing in the stock market. And I'm kind of in that for a day job too. She's very good at what she does. And then as an added benefit, she really helps other channels network, and she's really good at it. So connect to her. Third thing for the year I wanted to do was hold this Tuesday night conversation, 7:00 every Tuesday. This is housekeeping. I want to talk to you guys. I'm going to be done talking soon. I'm going to get through all my stuff, and then I want to hear from you guys. Number 4 was create a macro playlist, being all the macro and micro invertebrates that are in the creek. My wife hasn't gotten around to that quite yet. I think she's waiting till it gets to like 70 degrees. But hopefully we'll have a playlist there so that like fly fishermen or like Invertigo, there's another channel Invertigo out there who like he has invertebrates as pets. Amazing channel. So some people are just into them. And last thing, obviously, is we always, the subs we're trying to keep track of. We don't trying not to get obsessed with it, but it is fun to kind of, aim for the numbers. And I think if we just keep to our resolution, the subs and the right subs will come. And I'm going to update that. We're at 476. So we're getting like 20 new subs a week right now, which is really good, between 20 and 30. Which is pretty good, I think. I mean, I don't know how we don't really have a goal in mind. Everybody wants to hit the 1,000, but I know like once you hit the 1,000, it doesn't really mean anything. You're not making any money doing it. But someday, if we go back up to Alaska and we start up our business, it would be nice to have people know who we are in the fishing community already, since we kind of up and left that. But so yeah, tonight as always, I asked out on the channel. I asked what was, what people wanted to discuss, and I won't mention names because I don't want to like scare people from participating. But the one was fish handling. That was actually brought up a couple of weeks ago, and I never got around to it. And I think I might have, and I went off on a tangent because catch and release is great, but a lot of people that catch and release don't do it correct, and I'd rather them just not catch at all. But that's from my experience in Alaska. And if you're going to catch and release, do it right, or else you're potentially harming even more fish than somebody who takes their allotted 2 fish for the day and goes home and eats. But there's a right way to do it. So we'll cover that. And I want to talk to you guys. I know a lot of you guys in here know it as well as me. And in certain species, you probably know it even better than I do. Each species is a little bit different. Like muskie, pike, and pickerel, for example, you don't hold like a bass. You don't hold them vertically. You hold them horizontally. And you don't put your hand on the tummy. You put it down by their anal fin just to support the weight differently. And because it's such a long fish, the spine can get messed up. So you really have to know what you're doing if you're going to call yourself a catch and release fisherman, in my opinion. Just throwing it back because you're afraid to cook it or you're lazy doesn't qualify you for a pat on your shoulder that you're a great catch and release fisherman. That being said, the guys who do it right, awesome. And I watch them out there, and it's like, it is really cool. And I wish I try my best, but I mean, some of these guys are like, they're at another level, especially some of these trout guys I see putting pictures out there every day, and they'll post the picture like, this is the 8th time I've caught this trout over 4 years. That is like a really cool thing, I think, when you catch the same fish again, and it just shows that you've taken care of that fish, you've released it healthy. Going off on tangents. The other issue was best time to fish. So before we do that, what's everyone got going on? I know we got a big storm going through the mid part of the country. So people that are out like Indiana and Missouri, I think they're all in the path, I guess. And then we're supposed to get it here tomorrow. And the kids are, hey, Ted, thanks for coming in. Hey, Ted, let me know if I win anything over on Sunfish King. If you're over there and you see me win something, just give me the heads up, man. I need some gear. So yeah, we're supposed to get snow tomorrow and the kids are off. Yes, first time casting. Thanks for coming in. Glad to see you here. So what are you guys all up to? Anyone out there fishing? Who's tonight at midnight, 5 to 7 inches. Rick's got 5 to 7 inches coming. I didn't even look. We just got back from Chick-fil-A with the kids. Not sure what we're going to get. I'm here in Pennsylvania. It's supposed to be a mess. My kids are already off from school for some, like an act. Or I think teachers have like training or something like that. But I got to work. So my kid's probably going to jump into the lead for the fishing contest tomorrow because he's going to be out fishing all day while I'm working. Anyone fishing this time of year? Let's see. Nora's down in Florida, I think, so she's probably not getting any snow. I forget where Dwight is. Let's see. Freckled and Frugal. Remind me where you are. I think you're out west, unless you're on vacation on some of your pictures. First time casting. Nice. Going tomorrow. So yeah, this time of year is tough. Like Monday through Friday, I work like sun up to sundown, and night fishing this time of year, in my experience, is not very productive. But we're going to have to try to do something like that. Trying to get some micro fishing done, but it's been like rainy and 35 degrees and blowing. It's been nasty weather, so I haven't done anything this week. So I'm going to have to. I got a lot of catching up to do. Yeah, send Dora some snow. Let's see. Nice. What are you going to target on Freckled and Frugal? She said she's going to plan. She's planning on fishing next weekend. 35 this morning. Yeah. I think it was yesterday. Today's Tuesday, right? Yeah, yesterday morning was the first day of week 2. So we got up at the sun. We got our code for week 2 from Sunfish King, and we ran down to the creek to see if we could catch something before school. I think we spent 2 minutes there. The water was like raging. It was like slush coming out of the sky. We're like, yeah, no. Hey, Bud Files. Thanks for joining us. Bud Files just hit a big milestone. They just hit 1,000 subscribers, and awesome channel. I think I just clicked on some notification. They got a show coming up. I guess you'd call them like modern day not architects. Oh my gosh. Archaeologists, maybe is the word I'm looking for. But they're always up to something. Their adventures are just like, they're crazy. I love watching it, and the whole family does it. Super cool channel. Let's see. I saw something. Freckled and Frugal, New Mexico. It's one of the states I've never been to. Only about 4 states I haven't been to yet. New Mexico is one of them. And I really don't know much about it, except there's a petrified forest there, and I want to see that. But yeah, I'd love to get out there and explore. Yeah, I guess we'll dive into, I'm going to start backwards and do the best time to fish. As with almost everything that we discuss with fishing, the best time to fish really depends on what you're trying to target. But generally speaking, and again, this is coming from me being in Pennsylvania and also spending a lot of time fishing in Alaska, Freckled and Frugal trout. Now, you got trout. Sorry, I'm going to multitask and like totally hold 2 conversations at once. Freckled and Frugal is fishing for trout in New Mexico. And I'm pretty good with geography, but not in that area of the country. Is that going to be like lake fishing, or do you have a river? I think you do have a river now. I kind of think Ace, that guy that has a huge channel, is out that way, or at least he's been out there. Got like maybe even cutthroat, bull trout, and rainbow, something like that out that way. Getting back to the best time to fish, depends on the species. So my answer is going to be kind of based on that. It's going to be biased to Pennsylvania and Alaska. And I think it's probably pretty general through other states from what I understand, but I'm not going to try to pretend I know something I don't. So I'm going to say summer is the best time. And that's kind of biased, geared or answers geared towards a new fisherman, because summer, there's a lot of species and they're spread out everywhere. And in our area, like sunfish and bass, all the warm water fish are very active and really pretty easy to catch. Now, getting into here, it gets pretty hot. So come the middle of the summer, the fish tend to bite early in the morning, right? First hour of light, and the last hour of the light seems to be the best time. The fall seems like it slows down, but most like serious fishermen are going to tell you that's like a really good time to catch huge fish. They're fattening up. They may eat slower. They might move around. They might be harder to find because you've got, like, especially with lakes, you've got where the water, you got the warm water on top and you got the cold water, and it starts like flipping once it hits like 39 degrees, it'll flip. And so when that starts happening, you've got fish moving from different places. But if you're dumb like me, just pick ledges where the deep water is near the shallow water in a close proximity, so they can escape or get where they want and still come into it for food. And that's always a good spot. But if you really know what you're doing, and especially if you got the electronics and they're holding deep, you can go out somewhere where you think there's nothing, and you can get on them. So fall is a good time to catch a bigger fish. May not catch as much of them, but that's where I throw big baits. And for some species like muskie, it's almost impossible to catch a muskie around me in the summer. And if you watched our playlist, we went after our goal to catch a Pennsylvania muskie. And we started late summer and we didn't have any luck till the fall. And we knew that was the way it was going to be, but we figured we'd get on them and start practicing and start getting the areas and maybe get a couple sightings while the water was low. And it worked. I was riding my bike down the trail, looking over the creek, and I spotted one in a creek where they said there was no muskie. So I knew they were in there. And then my son spotted the day before we actually caught our big muskie, the 48 incher. My son spotted it sightseeing or sight fishing or whatever you want to call it. And then the following day we came in geared up just to catch that fish. But it took 25 episodes. We filmed 25. We did all 25 and released them all for us to catch that muskie. But the fall and the early winter is the best time to catch a muskie. I know there's like a delay here. I can see my mouth moving. It's creeping me out. Winter, you have other species in the winter. And if you guys want to add anything to this first time casting, I know you might bring a different perspective than I have. And Ted, anyone else that's in here that might have a different, my word is not gospel. It's all from like my experiences. And come winter, I always seem like I catch more perch. Definitely fishing is tough in the winter. If you catch pickerel in the winter time, bass are almost impossible to catch in the winter. Panfish, sunfish could become pretty hard to catch. Crappie are okay. See, Freckled and Frugal says there's a lot of cool stuff here, including lots of different kinds of fishing and camping, lots of outdoor stuff. Yeah, yes, sir. Lakes and rivers. Most of our fish are from hatcheries, but we do have some natives like silvery minnow and German brown trout. To look them up. That's pretty cool. I don't know those species. Silvery minnow and German brown trout. That's cool. Spring is a really good time to fish. And like, I think I'd say summer's one, my favorite, or easiest, not my favorite, but easiest. And spring would be number two. I think I know the spring. You got the trout runs that are coming in. They stock in the spring, so you got all the stocked fish out there. But bass seem like they just start coming in for the spawn. And to me, that's the easiest time. You know right where they're going to be, and they're easy to catch that time of year. So for bass, I'd say the number one time would be spring. Everything went to bite, not really. Bass, very slow. Everything went to bite, not really. I'm reading first time casting adventures. Everything went to bite, not really. Bass, very slow. Have to hit them in the head with the bait. Yeah, good point. In the winter, they'll just hold to a spot in my experience. So they'll eat. They just won't go to eat. They'll just kind of lay there. So you have to be patient and work your way through. Oh, Tulip and B Outback Adventures. Amanda, thanks for joining us. I'm going to make you a moderator so you can share your link. I believe, unless I'm wrong, this is the Outback from Australia channel. Awesome channel. I get them confused sometimes. I do visit all of you, but I can't keep y'all straight sometimes by the names. You should get your little blue wrench in a few moments. Thanks for coming in. We do this every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock or thereabouts. What we didn't cover. Did I miss a season? With spring, summer. So as far as timing, like I brushed on it earlier and I said summer, best time to fish, especially if it's hot, is like first hour of daylight, last hour of daylight. For the winter, I find it like in the middle of the day, when the sun's up in the sky, especially near us where, it's semi-frozen over on the creeks. You get the ice on the sides. I feel like, and especially the trout and most fish in general, seem like they bite in the middle of the day. There's no rush to get out on the water. But I'm going to tell you my number one fishing rule. If somebody asks me the best way to get on the fish or the best time to fish, I'm going to give you a weird answer and say before anyone else. Because if you're fishing pressured, I don't care what time of year, if you got to err to a side, get there before the other people. Because once they blow out a hole, there's a good chance those fish are not going to be biting. They're spooked for a while. It's going to take them time to settle. So, get there early. And I think that's the secret. Wake up early. And it's so funny how easy it is. Just get up early, get out there. And hardly anyone does it. Everybody gets lazy. They want to have their coffee and breakfast and go out. And you're not going to catch all the fish that way. But first time. That's right. So, Amanda, I used to race bicycles quite a bit. And one of the big races I did was always up in Alaska, and I did a rod, and we used to compete. There used to be a couple gentlemen from Australia that would come over. And I don't know, like for us, it'd be 40 below Fahrenheit. It would be rough because it only gets down to like 0 where I live. And then I would think of these Aussies that were coming out to race, and it's like whatever, 90 degrees Fahrenheit over there. And we were racing at 40 below Fahrenheit. I just like, that's a whole nother level of toughness to go through that temperature change. So yeah, your guys are on the other side of the globe. It's pretty wild. It still amazes me. There was a launch tonight, which is why I was late for the other live on Sunfish's channel. We were trying to watch the live. It was one of Musk's rockets. I don't even know what they were testing. I kind of missed half of it. My older son is into astronomy, so I was trying to get that stuff all set up, see if we could see it. I think we covered best time to fish. I'm going to try to be disciplined here with fish handling and just assume that people are fish handling the right way. Lamb Jam, what's going on? Great timing, bud. We're going to start the fish handling for catch and release. I know you're out on the social apps like I am, and you see it all. Sometimes the pictures are misleading, and I know I've put stuff out there where I'm not proud of the way I was holding the fish. And sometimes a picture is just a second, so you never know what really was going on. So I'm not going to judge anybody, but as far as fish handling, I just kind of made a list I'm going to go off of, and then we can expand and people can add their 2 cents. And like I said, like I'm fishing around with a 9-year-old, so I can't, sometimes he loses my net. Sometimes he's taking my net. We're not always in the perfect situation. Sometimes it's like, oh, let me just take a cast off this 30-foot bridge and you hook a fish. And you're like, oh, I didn't really plan on that. But if you're going to fish day in and day out for the same species, the same holes, then you really owe it to the fish and the other fishermen to learn to do it right. So first thing I'm going to suggest is getting a good net for the type of fish you're going to catch. So for trout, it's like, the mesh is not the best thing. It can cut up in their gills. it's a pain in the butt with the hooks. So those, like, I don't know what the material is. It's like a rubber or a plastic. It's soft, it's giving, and the hook doesn't stay in it. So for that reason, I know they're a little bit more money, but it's well worth it. It really is. Not even just because it's good for the fish. It's just an easier way to net. For carp, you see the setups where they have like a harness to like that with the sticks on both sides, and they use that for long fish like muskie too, where you can bring the net up around it, so you're not actually scooping. It allows you to work on the fish, get the hook out a lot easier, and the release is easy. And a heavy fish like a carp, you need somewhere to lay it on, so they sell like a harness for it. And we have that. We just haven't done a lot of carp fishing, but I will show that off this spring. My older boy enjoys carp fishing, so we're going to do a bit more of that with some lives this spring because it's easier to read chat while I'm carp fishing than it is running creek to creek. Lamb Jam says, I prefer a rubber or synthetic netting material, and the wider holes are easier to get the hook out of net. Yeah, I mean, those mesh, I don't know. I don't have the patience. I just start cutting the net to get my hooks out because these lures are expensive and the cheap nets are cheap. So yeah, get the right type of net for the fish that you're going to target. Be my first thing. Talking about catch and release. And the next thing I want to talk about is like how you're going to actually hook the fish. That's going to, if your goal is to release a fish live that's going to survive, you got to make sure you hook the fish correctly. So the danger of using live bait is a lot of times they tend to swallow it, especially if you're not attentive to the line and the tension. If you're just laying it out there and you're not really paying attention until the rod starts moving, there's a good chance they're going to swallow that. Now, that's not for all fish. They do have round hooks and other hooks that are designed to automatically hook the fish. So that's not a hard and fast rule, but generally be attentive to your line. If you're using a lure, hopefully it's the right size for the fish so you're preventing swallowing. You don't want the fish to swallow the hook or take it deep. If it does take it deep, there's tons of videos on the proper way to get those hooks out. If you're going to cut the hooks, don't just cut if like it's a treble, try not to cut the whole thing. Try to cut each, there's usually only one or two that's a problem. And sometimes you can go into the gills, but be real careful in the gills because you can kill them just by messing that up anyway. But you want to go in there and actually cut the hook off and then pull it out. But I mean, really, if it swallowed it and it's legal to take that fish home and it's not like something like a fish that's like, an 8-pound bass and it's just like a fish that there's a lot of, that's a good fish to harvest, in my opinion, and try not to, do it again, but rather than release it and have it die and become bird food or something. But if it's a huge fish, I would rather take the risk and see if you can get it back alive and give it the extra attention on the release. But another thing I preach with Kevin is 10 seconds out of the water. That's not always possible, and it's not even necessary with like catfish, but it's good to keep it in your mind. One of the tricks I tell Kevin is like hold your breath with the fish. If you run out of breath, it's a good idea. The fish feels the same way. Keep them in water as much as possible. The good net will allow you to work on the fish while it's in the water that way too. As soon as you get the hook out and you want to get a picture, don't just keep it up on land. Put that fish in the net, back in the water, let them get a couple breaths. Keep them wet, pull them out. Fish have a protective slime on them, so you want to make sure that that your hands are wet when you're handling a fish. So dip them in the water whenever possible, and just be careful with handling the fish. Don't overhandle them. And there's certain ways to hold fish. I think we touched on that. Bass, I find the best way to do is lip it. One thumb in the mouth seems to calm it down. But then if you're going to hold it horizontal, you want to support its belly lightly or towards the anal fin lightly. You don't want to squeeze up in the guts of any fish because they're very fragile and they can die. A bass you can hold vertical as well. Just thumb and let it hang straight. What you don't want to do is like the half twist where it's kind of out to the side and down. And I see that a lot. That can break the jaw. Often can break the jaw of the bass and it will die later, even if it swam away fine. And reviving them before the release, especially if it's a smaller fish. There's going to be a tired fish. make sure it's revived before it swims away so it doesn't get eaten by another fish. And sometimes they will swim away and just go belly up if they're not healthy. So spend the time to revive them. I feel like I'm preaching too much tonight. I want to chat. What do you guys got going on? Got any? Anyone got any videos coming out? Any premieres coming out that I can put on my schedule and make sure that I watch and share them out? Fishing with Lamb Jam says, First Time Casting says she just connected with Amanda over at Tulip and Bee Outback Adventures. Awesome, awesome. Fishing with Lamb Jam, we tournament fish and keep the fish in the live well for long periods of time. We like to use G-Juice live well treatment, which helps keep them healthy. We also release below the gunnel. Nice. Yeah, I've never really done much like boat tournament fishing. I've done a couple, but you know, in Alaska, there's no other humans, so I've never really got into the competitive side. We're more just like living off the land or taking our guests out or just out there doing our own thing. I probably will get more into typical like bass tournaments as Kevin gets a little bit older, but right now he just doesn't have the patience to sit in a boat or like head boats and stuff. He'd rather do it all himself. So he likes the bank fishing. He likes to be able to get up and do his own thing, where on a boat, he's kind of got to listen to his dad. He doesn't like that. He does pretty good on his own. I don't know who's live tonight. Let me see who else is going live tonight. Local Marks, he's always live. He's over in the UK. He's probably just about wrapped up. He only has 96 people watching. That dude gets like 300 people. Amanda connected back. Awesome. Connected back the first time. Tulip, fire away, Amanda. We are here for questions. So go ahead, Amanda. I put things to talk about just so we have something, so I have something to say while you guys ask questions. I'm sure someone will know an answer if I don't. Let's see. Sunfish King is still alive. I'm going to try to find this website I saw earlier. It was a really good website on, you know what? I subscribed to their newsletter. I can find it on email. Tulip says, I have been told gar have really nasty teeth. How do you remove a hook that they have swallowed? I've never caught a gar specifically, so I can't really answer that. For pike and pickerel and muskie, the first step is to not let them swallow it. Once they swallow it, I feel like, I mean, again, I don't know with gar, but there's tools to do it that are hook degougers, and there's all different lengths to do that. It just depends where it's at down the throat. It's a bad shape if it's swallowed. If it's a little hook that, you know, some people say it'll rust out and you can cut it, but a lot of the hooks that I see are like they're stainless steel things and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. It's a great question. Yeah, Lamb Jams, very carefully. Yeah, you don't want to stick your arm down it like I've done on multiple occasions to pike and pickerel. But yeah, there's tools to do it. So if you have gar, I'd look up the tools. Yeah. Yeah, she likes her fingers. You don't want to lose them. The website I was looking up earlier was takemefishing.org. Let me type it into the chat. Take fishing. I know the link probably won't work, but just so you see what it is. Ah, it's supposed to be org. Damn it. Did I not type it right? Remove. Take me fishing. There you go. That website, I just kind of found it a week ago about an article, but it's really impressive with the amount of information and the resources for people, not only new to fishing, but just anybody. It just gives you good reminders, and they keep it up to date. Like there's winter fishing on there, and all kinds of information that they keep up to date, like what species to catch right now if you're ice fishing, how to rig up your lines and how to prepare for that, and use that resource. Let's see. I'm not sure how much longer we'll go tonight. I only had those two things to talk to. Tulip and B Outback Adventures. Amanda says the Spanish mackerel we have over here get pretty big, and they have nasty teeth too. They hit the bait or lure so hard it's not funny. Thankfully, the ones I have caught, I have eaten. Yeah, when you're eating the fish, like I'm brutal. Like when it comes to a fish that I'm gonna eat, like it's a whole different thing. I'm not even using that. I'm whipping them up there, but I also try to, like, what typically I do is like I'll smash their head right away, or as soon as possible, kill them, or at least knock them out, and then I bleed them out right away. That's what I like to do. I've heard pros and cons of doing that, like everything. You can always find somebody to disagree with you, but I've read both things, and I feel like, at least for the species I fish for, it's a good way to do it. And I put them on ice right away, or if it's a trout, sometimes I will put it on the stringer, but I never release them on the stringer. That's my favorite. People that put fish on a stringer and then let them go. Let's see if I got anything else to talk about. Tell you guys what we've caught so far as far as species. Cav's got a creek chub, bluegill, rock bass, brook trout, chain pickerel. You're only allowed to report 5. That's the 5 he reported for week 1 of the fishing league. I had a bluegill, brook trout, chain pickerel, green sunfish, and a rock bass. So he's actually a little bit better off because he caught the creek chub, which is a little bit harder for us to catch around here. The sunfish are kind of like the bread and butter. You can always pick up a sunfish around here. And I've already, there's only 3 or maybe 4 species around here, and I've already caught 2 of them. So as the weeks go on, he's going to be in better shape than I am. Let's see. Let me make sure I got back. Amanda says, I like to bleed them out. And then on ice, it tastes better. Yep, exactly. Yeah, ice them down, throw them in an ice mix. Like to bleed them out. I just read that. Amanda says, first time is saying Tulip. Outback Adventures. Amanda, I'm going next week here, North Carolina. Nice. Is that where you are in North Carolina first time? I forgot exactly where you were located. I knew you were down that way. Just wasn't sure on the state. Amanda says they're such a good fighting fish and tastes awesome first time. Yeah, I got that, Amanda. I have only fished saltwater, never freshwater. I am moving to the States soon, so that will change. Yeah, I guess I know. Obviously, Australia is a giant island. Are there a lot of like creeks, or are all the creeks also saltwater there? Because I think like isn't the whole like this might be from like my whole knowledge might be from Croc Files here, but isn't like the whole interior like a huge desert? I don't know. I could be totally ignorant. And that's awesome. What part of the U.S. are you moving to, Amanda? All right, Lamb Jam. Dinner. It's late, dude. Have a good night. Thanks for coming in, bud. Have a good one. see out there on Fish Brain. You get saltwater creeks, but you don't have fresh. Yeah. Okay. She said you get saltwater creeks, but you do have freshwater. South Dakota. Wow. Wow. South Dakota is one of my favorite states. I went out there and visited, I think it was the Black Hills and the Badlands, and I've ridden through the Badlands. Got chased by buffalo in the Badlands while I was camping. Had a cow fall over me in the tent in the Badlands. Lots of good times out there. Oh, Keith Doc Reed, thanks for coming in, buddy. Thanks for coming in. Oh, you're okay. All right. I didn't realize you were Central, Lamb Jam. He said it's only 6:40 here. Keith Doc, going to make you a moderator. You can share yourself out if you want. Feel free to do that. Keith saying hi to everyone. Let's see. Curbside, didn't I make you a moderator? Did I miss you? Sorry if I did. First, I think I kicked your chat off for some reason, and now I made you not a moderator. Curbside, same here. Catch fresh and saltwater fish, but only ever eat the saltwater fish. Yeah, I think a lot of people say in general saltwater fish tastes better. Might be easier to cook. There's some freshwater fish that I never ate as a child that I've learned different ways to cook that are really good. But I think in general, you might be right. Like almost all the saltwater fish I've caught, I haven't put a lot of thought into it, and I just do a simple recipe, and they taste really good. Probably my two favorite saltwater fish that I've ever eaten is bluefish, and I know people don't like bluefish. Typically, they say it's too oily, but I had smoked bluefish cheek meat, which was, one of my favorite dishes I've ever eaten. I think I told you this last week when I'm go to restaurants. That's my favorite thing to do is order fish from like an expensive restaurant to see how they prepare it. I find it really interesting, and it gives me ideas for how to cook it. The other fish was a sand shark. I guess we call them dogfish shark. Awesome fish to eat too. You got to know what you're doing to prepare them. Mangrove jacks are my favorite fish. Never ate one. And Spanish mackerel. I think I may have had mackerel at a restaurant once. And then pink snapper, I've heard, is like a lot of people love to eat pink snapper. Amanda said mangrove jacks are her favorite to eat. Then Spanish mackerel, then pink snapper. Yeah. What is everyone's favorite freshwater fish to eat? I'm curious on what freshwater fish people like to eat. Yeah, there's a Lamb Jam's link. Doc shared that out. Thanks for sharing that out. Keith just shared out curbside. Yeah, thanks a lot for sharing those out. Appreciate that. Amanda, you're soon gone, I guess. Walleye is awesome. Blue cats. I've never had blue cats. I hear they're really good. I have had some good fried catfish, and it's dang good. Walleye is one of my top favorite. I probably would have forgotten to say that if you didn't just post that, because I haven't had it that often. But I used to race at International Falls, Minnesota, and I would always get walleye while I was up there, and some of the native long grain rice up there, and that was one of my favorite dishes. Rainbow trout is one of my favorites, especially when it's a large rainbow trout smoked, like cold smoke, not hot smoke. One of my favorites. Rainbow trout. Just make sure you know how to cook it, because you can cook it wrong, and a lot of it isn't how you prepare the fish as well. It can taste nasty if you don't do it right. Blue cat, I definitely want to try. And where can I get a blue cat? If I'm in Pennsylvania, how far south do I have to go? I'm thinking like Southwest, like you got the Chesapeake, like they're in the Chesapeake, I would imagine, right? I got to do some traveling here after this tournament. I got to catch some fish that aren't around here. Oh, Chad, I missed Chad come. Oh, he's Chad. I totally missed that you came in. Thanks for joining us, bud. I saw you posted Blue Cat, but I totally missed your name. Thanks for joining. Um, yeah, so Doc just shared Chad's link down there. Anybody wants to network, support each other. All right, you're in Kansas. So are they? Yeah, I guess they're out that way too, right? They're. I always think of like the big rivers, but I guess I'm going to look at a map before I sound stupid. I got two mouses here. Okay, yeah. So that's where'd it go? Huh. I'm searching. Someday when I don't have as many responsibilities, I'm going to get in the car and drive all. I'm going to get like an RV and a bunch of fishing poles and just run the channel from the road. Coastal Water, thanks for coming in. You haven't been on the lives in a while. Awesome. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to make you a moderator so that you can share your link out and network. We don't have too much longer. We kind of hit on a couple points like fish handling for like catch and release and the best time to fish. And I was just asking everybody what their favorite fish to eat was. I will say my favorite freshwater fish has to be white perch. It's small, it's overlooked. A lot of people don't harvest them because they think they're too much work. I can do 50 white perch in less than 20 minutes. They're fast. You get a nice, like for the size of the fish, you get like an 8-inch fish. For the size of the fillet, it's like each fillet is like a fish stick. So I take them and I bread them. I either deep fry them or I just like bread them and bake them. They're delicious. They taste just like fish sticks. They have no fishy flavor to them. They're very mild. Kids love them. It's probably my favorite fish to eat. Doesn't have a lot of flavor, so I can't really say it's my favorite fish to eat, I guess. But with kids and all, it's my favorite one to prepare. So, yeah, I guess over there, Amanda lives in Australia currently. She's coming to the U.S. I guess you have a lot of seafood with the ocean all around you. Are there native, like what's the meat like over there? Like what kind of meat are you eating? Are there wild animals in Australia, or is it like parts of the UK where it's all like introduced species, I guess is what a lot of it is. Man, this says oysters, mussels, crayfish, and all the seafood. Really, yeah. I developed a shellfish allergy late in life and devastated because I love that stuff. First time saying hello to Coastal. Amanda, love kangaroo and deer. Nice. There was a restaurant in Philly that used to be, they used to say that they sold kangaroo meat. And we always said we didn't care. Everybody, I guess it's illegal in the States, but everybody in the States or everybody in the Philadelphia area would be like, oh, they're selling kangaroo meat. And I know, like, we always were like, I don't care what it is. They make the best cheesesteaks. So native deer is, kangaroo is native. Deer is introduced. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, we have deer. We have white-tailed deer where I live. And yeah, we try to keep our freezer filled with that and try not to buy too much beef, which is farmed here. And then I'll eat fish once or twice a week. You got to watch the levels of mercury and all that stuff. And where you catch them, that's a whole nother conversation to make sure you're not taking in too many chemicals. But I'm sure there's a lot of chemicals in everything we eat. The whole globe is pretty screwed up. So, I mean, what are you going to do? I always say if I'm going to die of mercury poison because I caught and ate too many of the fish, that's a pretty good way to go. Keith's sharing out Tulip the Outback Adventures. I missed something here. We'll connect that. Nice. Fresh meat is better. Yep, agreed, Amanda. Awesome. Yeah, First Time's another great connecting channel too, and obviously a legit fishing channel too. But he really works hard, making new relationships and like knowing who he's having a relationship with. He isn't just going to throw you a like and subscribe. He'll take the time to check out your channel, and he remembers you, and real good dude for that. Chad in Kansas, I lived off the river most of my life eating fish. Same here. Yeah. I lived a good bit up the time off the grid in Alaska, and up there it's clean, I'm sure. Even though you still can't drink from the river. I got Girardi up there once, and I lost 36 pounds in 6 days. So you can still get sick, but that's just because your system's not used to it because it's been brought up on, chlorinated water and everything. But yeah, like I don't want to get into it. My wife's a biologist. I don't want to get into it, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like everybody tells you can't eat this, you can't eat that, you can't. Meanwhile, like, look at the stuff they're selling. People are like lined up at McDonald's, and probably the same people telling you that there's mercury, you should only eat 1 shark a year or something. And then you go to a restaurant and they sell you shark. I'm not going. I just told myself I wasn't going down that road. Going to close it out in a couple minutes here, guys. I really appreciate all the subscribers and the support. This is sub only. I'm thinking next week maybe. I don't know. I might open it up and do like for everybody. I got to try to find a way to limit spammers, and I think I've got a whole bunch of good moderators that can help keep that stuff out. But and maybe I'll have to do like the slow mode on there where you can only comment once every 60 seconds or something. But the purpose of this really is I'm geared towards like new anglers with questions. So a lot of them, I would assume, are not going to be subscribers of mine. They might find me through Instagram or Facebook, which I'm not really big on, or like Fishbrain is probably the only app I really am pretty active on. So they might find me through there, and I want them to be able to come right in and make that connection. So we'll see. Amanda says, I get sick when I drink bore water, but if I keep drinking it within a week, I can drink it without getting sick. Is that well? What is bore water? Like boring, like a hole? Like in Alaska, I think we did like the one trick you would do is like you had like a pond or a lake with water that you couldn't drink out of because it had bacteria. You would drill a hole. I only tried it like one time. Because we had a lot of rain, so we could use rainwater, which was safer. But you would drill a hole like 10 feet in, and then it would seep from the pond over to that hole. And then apparently the theory was like that was clean water. I tried it, but I never, I tried to do it and it came over, but I never drank it because I didn't need it. It was just kind of in case I would need it. We rigged up our roof to get rainwater off the roof. And then we would take that and either boil it. Sometimes we'd have to use river water, and we'd definitely boil that for a couple minutes. And then we purify it just to take out other stuff that, even though if it wasn't poisonous to you, you don't want to be eating bugs or whatever. So we take that stuff out. I was just about to close it out. Got my boy Kevy's here. Where were you? Urban Air. He was at the trampoline park. You want to say hi to everyone?
Hello.
He's all sweaty. This kid right here, he might go in the lead tomorrow after Amanda saying, hello, young one. That's Kevin. He's my youngest, and he's my fishing partner. I think he's going to go in the lead of this competition tomorrow when I'm at work and he's home all day, no school. Oh, Backlash. Backlash. We're just about heading out, buddy. I'm going to make you a moderator so you can share your link. Another great channel. Awesome, awesome, bud. Thanks for coming by. I really appreciate it. She says, "Nice to meet you, Kevin." Say hi.
Hello.
Yeah, you'll see him in almost all the videos. I think I've fished maybe twice in the last 9 years without him. Literally, that's about it. He comes every time. Okay, nice, nice. All right. So I didn't realize that you guys were like the same household or what have you there. Good to know. All right, cool. YouTube Backlash. Just Keith's putting out Backlash's link there. So yeah, look up and down. If you're not connected to anyone here, please feel free to, because everybody's links there that I see, they're all great channels. They're all legitimate channels. There's no spammers in here. Coastal is the wife. Okay. All right. Someday my wife might come on. You think Mom will come on?
No way. It's our channel.
It's our channel. Yeah, I don't know about that. It's a family channel.
Nope.
I'll be thinking about you, and you keep it over there, Rick. Don't send it out our way. Rick's getting like 7 inches of snow tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna get. It's always 33 and rain here. No matter what the forecast is, I always feel like it's 33 and rain every time. Yeah, we have 9. Now I'm ready to like hang up. Now everybody's here. Got 9 people in, but I got to get out of here. Got stuff to do before bed. I really appreciate everyone coming in and subscribing, watching our channel, and spending time. And do my best to try to get back at you guys. You comment on my videos. I usually also backtrack and make sure that I'm still subscribed to you. And I try to watch a couple videos. And a lot of you guys I watch on a regular basis, but just to make sure I'm not missing anybody and not, the algorithm isn't sending you my way or whatever. I take a comment and I'll make sure that I am connected to you. So thanks for coming in. You guys have a great week. Good luck if you're fishing. Good luck with the snowstorm. And we'll see you all next week.